What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. It is Falcons Friday, and we're getting ready to take on the LA Rams in our home stadium. We're back at home after the road trip of taking on the Arizona Cardinals and the Houston Texans. We are back at home in the friendly confines of the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Now it's time for us to rise up as always, Falcons Nation. I want to come to you with a quick pregame show of keys to victory to defeating the LA Rams. So let's hop right into this thing, y'all. Let's first talk about the LA Rams, and then I'll get into the Atlanta Falcons and how we can defeat them. The LA Rams are a team that like to run 3 wide receiver sets and also have their running back on the field. I don't know if Todd Gurley's playing in this game. I haven't seen an injury report update if he's playing or not. But we must be prepared for Todd Gurley if he plays in this game. The first thing that you want to stop against the Rams is Todd Gurley. He's public enemy number 1 for the Atlanta Falcons. We definitely want to put his name in the middle of the board on the whiteboard. He is the star player on their team. They go as Todd Gurley goes. Jared Goff is a solid quarterback, but he has been struggling this season with his accuracy as of lately. And I feel like he's been struggling because Todd Gurley has not been healthy this season. He did miss last game against the 49ers, and I believe they say that they didn't convert on 3rd down at all last week. And that's shocking because everybody knows that the Rams have a high-powered offense, but it all starts with Todd Gurley because they love to use the play action game off of Todd Gurley. Sean McVay loves to use the play action and to get his receivers involved. The X factor in their wide receiving core, to me, is Cooper Kupp. He is Todd Gurley. He is Jared Goff's number 1 target. He loves to throw the ball to Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp is like a tight end for him. He runs all of the underneath routes. He also can take it deep and run deep routes as well, but he loves to dump the ball off to Cooper Kupp and let him run after catch and get those yak yards, meaning run after catch. So we definitely want to keep our eye on that in the secondary. We must keep our eye on Cooper Kupp. We must tackle well in the open field, and we must cover well. Also, they do have Brandon Cooks, who is a speedster who can definitely go deep, and they have Robert Woods, who also has some speed. Cooks, they like to take a couple deep shots a game to Cooks, and he likes to stretch out our defense. He likes to stretch out defenses. So we definitely need to maintain a safety over top of him at all times with Ricardo Allen, and maybe even think about having 2 deep safeties in this game and not just play the single high safety the whole game, because they have multiple guys that can beat you deep over the top. They have Cooper Kupp, as I mentioned. Robert Woods likes to go deep, and Brandon Cooks likes to go deep. So we have to be very careful in this game. I would play Demonte Casey a little bit more at the safety position over. I would move him back there and take Kamal Ishmael out of the game, especially on passing downs like 3rd downs. When it's 3rd and long or 3rd and medium, I definitely would think about taking Kamal Ishmael maybe out of the game, or putting Kamal Ishmael in as a linebacker and removing Devondre Campbell and moving Demonte Casey back to the free safety position, because Demonte Casey has great ball skills as well as Ricardo Allen. So maybe we can run some 2 deep safety looks and not all of this, just the single high safety looks, because we have to be very careful in this game about allowing explosive plays, because explosive plays has been killing our Atlanta Falcons this season. Teams have been throwing the ball deep, short. They've been doing everything against us, but they really have been hitting us deep. The Texans destroyed us with throwing the ball deep. The Titans destroyed us with throwing the ball deep. So we definitely have to get that rectified in this game. Also, when it comes to the Rams defense, they do have Aaron Donald, who most of the NFL says is the best player in the league. He's been on the top 100's top 5 players for the last couple seasons now. He is a game wrecker, so we definitely have to be ready for him. I don't know if James Carpenter, our guard, is playing. They say he didn't practice yesterday, so I'm hoping that he's definitely in there because he is a veteran lineman and a solid guard, and hopefully we have Jamon Brown solidified on our starting lineup as far as the guards. The line did pretty well last week. They played pretty well last week. They did a good job of protecting Matt Ryan and keeping him clean. Alex Mack is always a Pro Bowl caliber player. Caleb McGarry has been making strides and has looked excellent at the right tackle position. So that was definitely a good draft pick by Thomas Dimitroff and Dan Quinn. And Matthews has done a good job at the left tackle spot for us. And he's cleaned up his play since the first game of the season, where he was just demolished by the Minnesota Vikings in those spin moves with Everson Griffin and Daniil Hunter. They just destroyed Matthews. But he's doing a good job now at the left tackle spot. So we definitely have to be prepared for their defense. And mentioning Matthews, his cousin does play on the other side for the Rams as a defensive end or outside linebacker, and Clay Matthews, the longtime Green Bay Packers. So we definitely have to look out for him, as well as look for Aaron Donald. But they have an excellent line up front with the Rams. They have Aaron Donald, they have Fowler, they have Brockers. So all of those guys can get after the passer. So we're going to definitely have to do a good job of keeping the pocket clean and definitely keeping the middle of the pocket, meaning the pocket cannot be being pushed back into Matt Ryan's lap where he cannot step up and throw the ball, because that affects Matt Ryan the most. I feel like Matt Ryan struggles the most when pressure is right up the middle because he can't step up in the pocket. It's not as bad when he has pressure coming from the outside because he still can step up and make his throws. But we definitely want to keep the middle clean. And that's where the strength of their defense is, with Aaron Donald and Brockers. So we definitely have to be prepared in this game. I do believe that we have a chance to win this game. I do believe there's a winnable game. And I feel like every game on our schedule is winnable because our offense is so high-powered and high-potent that we can score with anybody. It's just about us getting some stops, getting some turnovers to put our offense on a short field, because our identity for this Atlanta Falcons team is an offensive team, meaning we need to play with the lead and give our defense a chance to get after the quarterback and rush the passer and kind of make teams one-dimensional, meaning we need to get up ahead so that teams have to pass the ball, because where we've been struggling this year is teams that grind it out, teams that are running the ball on us. I mean, we've been getting beat with a lot of bad coverage as well, but mainly the teams that destroyed us, especially in those AFC teams that we played in the AFC South with the Texans, the Titans, and the Colts, they basically just ran the ball down our throats. They were more physical than us in the trenches, and they basically destroyed us on a running game. Marlon Mack ran crazy on us when we played the Colts. Derrick Henry, we bottled him up pretty well, but they had the dual threat with Marcus Mariota, who was also running against us. And then when we played Deshaun Watson, he was scrambling around, making plays. And last week when we played Kyler Murray, he was scrambling around and making plays. So in this game, keys to victory for our Atlanta Falcons. Now that I've talked about the Rams, well, before I go on to keys to victory, I forgot to mention that Jalen Ramsey, the cornerback for the Jaguars, who was a all-pro corner, is now a part of the LA Rams. He was just traded a couple days ago. I'm not too worried about Jalen Ramsey. I believe he is a great player, and we have to be very careful, Matt Ryan, with his ball placement. But this is how I feel about when trades happen in the NFL. Even if it's a great player, he needs time to gel with these other guys on their team. So I feel like if they decide to play Jalen Ramsey, it could be to a fault on their end, meaning it could be a lot of communication issues in the back end on their side, because they do have a lot of turnaround going on. Aqib Talib was placed on IR, so he's injured. And then they traded Marcus Peters to the Ravens. So I believe Jalen Ramsey now is like their first corner, meaning I don't know if he's going to follow Julio around and travel with Julio, or whether they're going to just put him on one side of the field and let whoever's on the other side of the field play. So they do have some key guys in their secondary, like an Eric Weddle that's very smart as a safety. He's an excellent safety, and he likes to blitz, and he likes to do a lot of different things. He's a great tackler, a very physical player in the secondary. But as far as the Jalen Ramsey situation, I'm not too concerned. I would be more concerned if Jalen Ramsey had been there a couple weeks and have played a couple games with them and has practiced with the Rams for a little while. But being that he's just joining their team, personally, if I was the Rams head coach, I wouldn't play Jalen Ramsey in this game because he hasn't been with the team long enough. You need time to gel and mesh. The only way I would see myself if I was the Rams coach playing him is if we were just shorthanded in corners. And I believe they are shorthanded in corners because of Aqib Talib going down. So it sounds like they're going to have to play Jalen Ramsey. I'm just not too concerned with Jalen Ramsey in this game, just for the mere fact that he hasn't been a part of this defense long enough to actually gel. And the NFL is not about the most talent on paper. It's about being able to communicate and play as a team. If you're not all on one page, doesn't matter how good you are individually, your defense will be exposed in certain areas if you haven't bonded with each other and if you haven't been on the team long enough to learn the communications, learn the signals and things of that nature, learn the audibles, all of those things. And that takes time. That's not something that just happens over a 1 week period, 1 week of practice, and now you know. Like, it takes years. That takes time, takes weeks to actually get comfortable with knowing where you're supposed to be, where you should be lining up, what coverages you like to run. He's just joining the Rams. Like, he just joined the team like 2 or 3 days ago. So it's impossible for him to grasp all of that information over a couple practices and walkthroughs. He's going to have to play a couple games with them before he'll be up to speed and be that same cornerback he was with Jacksonville. So I would have been a little bit more concerned when we played Jacksonville later on in the year with Jalen Ramsey, because he had been there for years. He knows their culture. He knows the system and things of that nature. But now he's coming into a whole new environment and he's just being thrown in. So he doesn't really know pretty much anything. Now, moving on to our Atlanta Falcons and keys to victory, as I said. First thing, we must get off to a fast start. The offense must pick up where they left off last week against the Cardinals. We looked really good. We scored 33 points. The offense was humming. Devontae Freeman looks like he's back and fresh. He was cutting and catching the ball out of the backfield. I loved what I saw out of Dirk Cutter last week. It looks like he's comfortable now in this offense with these players, and he called a good game last week. He kept it balanced with the pass, the play action, the run. He even threw a little bit of the Wildcat in there with Mohamed Sanu and Freeman in the backfield. I mean, we've seen some of everything last week. I was really impressed. I saw a flea flicker last week where we finally got Jalen Graham a catch, a nice chunk play for about 15 to 20 yards down the field. I mean, Dirk Cutter was an A+ game last week as far as him calling the game. It was an excellent play calling by OC. I want to see more of that this game. We must stay aggressive in this game. I would like to see us go do a little bit of no huddle in this game to tire out that pass rush, to keep Aaron Donald and those guys at bay. I want to see us running the ball and keeping it balanced so Matt Ryan is not just dropping back. We definitely cannot afford to get down in this game and be down 10 points and 17 points in the hole. We cannot have that in this game because the Rams are a team that, just like we can score on every possession, they can score on every possession. And they are a high-power offense, a high-flying offense, just like the Atlanta Falcons. So we must be physical in this game on the offensive line and defensive line. We must have big explosive plays, and we must be careful if you're Matt Ryan with the football. Don't put the football in harm's way because they do have superstar playmakers on their side of the ball. But don't be afraid to go deep with Julio Jones, because if it's one-on-one, even if it's on Jalen Ramsey, I'll put my money on Julio any day in a one-on-one type situation. Austin Hooper has really been balling for us with the underneath routes. He has looked awesome this whole season. Right now he's leading the Atlanta Falcons in receptions and catches, in yardage. I believe he's leading pretty much in everything. I also believe he's leading in touchdowns. But we looked excellent. We looked excellent last week as far as on the offensive side of the ball. Calvin Ridley had a touchdown. Freeman had 2 touchdowns. Austin Hooper had a touchdown. So we looked really good last week on the offensive end. I love what I seen out of our fullback, Keith Smith. He was really laying some nice blocks when we're in the I formation for Devontae Freeman. He also had a fullback dive where he got a first down. So like I said, man, Dirk Cutter did an excellent job last game of play calling and mixing it up. What I would like to see out of our defense, more man-to-man coverage. I hope we start off the game in that press man-to-man coverage. Kendall Sheffield, I'm not sure if Trufant is playing. If he's playing, then I would like to see Trufant and Kendall Sheffield on the outside as the two starting cornerbacks. If he's not back, if Trufant is not back from the toe injury this week, we're going to need Isaiah Oliver to step up again in this week. And I would like to see Kendall Sheffield do his thing again. He looked excellent last week, and it does look like he's progressing. Isaiah Oliver showed a little bit of improvement last week. He did get his head around, and he did try to bat a ball, which was actually caught on the sideline, but he did a good job of turning his head around and trying to put his hands up to try to intercept the ball. It was just a perfectly thrown ball. So he's looking a little bit better. Isaiah Oliver, it does look like he's progressing. It just doesn't look like he's progressing as fast as Kendall Sheffield is progressing. Like I said, I would like to see DeMonte Casey maybe drop back in as a safety occasionally for Kamal Ishmael. I wouldn't even mind seeing a little bit of Sherrod Neesman playing that box safety role. We just need to mix it up, man. I would like to see Foye Aluakon go ahead and get some of those snaps on passing downs. Also, Jermaine Grace to get some of those snaps to see what we have in these backup guys on third downs and in passing situations. I definitely would like to see those guys. On the defensive line, we really need these guys to step up and start putting pressure on these quarterbacks because we haven't had a sack in the last 3 games. So it's time for these guys to step up. Vic Beasley, it's time for you to earn that money that we gave you this year. If you want to be on the Atlanta Falcons next year, we do need to see you ball out this year. You still have 10 games to go. The season's not over. And if you want to be extended and get that nice contract at the end of the season, you definitely need to go ahead and try to ball out. This game, you at least need to have at least 1 to 2 sacks and maybe 4 or 5 pressures on the quarterback. Grady Jarrett, just continue to do what you're doing, collapse in the pocket, using that swim move to get in the backfield and hit the running backs in the backfield for lost yardage. Takk McKinley, we need to make sure when you're blitzing that you're staying inside of your gap, that you're not hopping out of your gap, and that you're not screaming up the field and in certain situations. Meaning, like if it looks like it's going to be a screen, don't come screaming down the line. You need to make sure that you put your hands up and try to bat a ball. Because I did see last week that Vic Beasley almost caused the interception where he got up and jumped up and batted a ball, and it was almost picked off by Devondre Campbell, but he was just a couple steps too slow. But if you can't get to the quarterback, that's another way that you can affect the pass is by jumping up and trying to bat the ball for our defensive linemen. Definitely get your hands up there and try to bat the ball. I want to see more out of Crawford. We need to see a little bit more out of Jack Crawford in the middle. We're creating pressure to give Grady Jarrett a lift because Grady Jarrett is being double teamed. So it's time for some of these guys to start winning their one-on-one matchups. Allen Bailey, continue to clog up the lanes and stop the run. Tyler Davison, continue to collapse the pocket and also stop the run, stand in your gaps, your gap integrity. For our linebackers, Deion Jones, continue to do what you're doing in coverage and continue to do what you're doing as far as tackling. Devondre Campbell definitely needs to hit the holes faster and do a better job at reading what teams are trying to do to him in coverage and in the running game. Make sure you're not hitting the wrong holes or trying to plug the wrong holes when you're coming downhill. Make sure you're aggressive but playing smart and using your head. No penalties in this game, no offsides penalties because we're at home. It's no excuse for any encroachments or any false start penalties. We shouldn't have any crowd noise from the other teams. If it is, it shouldn't be that loud where it's causing you to jump off sides or you to encroachment. We need to be clean in this game. As far as when it comes to the penalties, we need to do an excellent job at doing the right thing, doing your job. We need to make sure as coaches, and this goes for Dan Quinn, we need to make sure we have the right packages being subbed in and out of the game. I don't want to see what I saw last week where guys on that touchdown pass where Max Williams of the Arizona Cardinals scored. Last week we had guys running on and off the field. Dan Quinn, if you need to hire, or if you need to give some of this responsibility to some of your assistant coaches, go ahead and do that. You shouldn't be subbing players in and out. You should have someone that's designated to sub guys in and out for you. And these guys should know when you call out whatever package you're running, these guys should know what package they should be going in the game. I don't want to see us having to call timeout because it's 12 men in the huddle, or it's dudes running on and off the field. They're looking around with their hands up like they don't know what's going on. You need to go ahead and delegate some of these responsibilities, because Dan Quinn is trying to be the head coach, the defensive coordinator, do clock management, and all of these other different things he's trying to do, and he's only one person. So he definitely needs to delegate and put some of this responsibility on some of his assistants. These players need to play smart, and like I said, they need to know what packages they need to be in the game for. I don't want to see guys running on and off the field confused, because last week it was atrocious. We had guys running on and off the field like they didn't know what they were doing. Guys were not even lined up right, set up right. It was one play that I seen on Facebook where they were showing one guy on the goal line set on the right-hand side of the line. Well, I think it was the left-hand side of the line. It was literally nobody. We were in like a 5-2, or we were in that bare front on the goal line, and it was like a huge gap that was on the outside. And the person in the video was basically saying, it's too easy. Like, they know where to run the ball to, because it was a huge gap where looks like it supposed to have been a player there, but they didn't slide the line, and it was an easy walk-in touchdown for David Johnson and the Cardinals, the running back for the Cardinals. So we need to make sure we're on our P's and Q's in this game. I do believe we can win this game. Like I said, this season isn't over. It's 10 games to go. We haven't played an NFC South opponent. We need every NFC win we can get, because when it comes down to tiebreakers, we want to own all of the tiebreakers. So we definitely need to beat the Rams, and we need to beat the Seahawks, because these are both home games. Like I said, I'm pumped up. I'm going to be rooting on my Atlanta Falcons on Sunday. I hope you guys enjoy the game on Sunday. You still are rooting. I hope you're still rooting for your Atlanta Falcons and not rooting for us to be tanking, because I don't believe in tanking. I believe in winning as many games as possible. This is these guys' jobs. These guys have a lot of pride. I seen Ricardo Allen talking about it in his interview. He was talking about it in his press conference during this week. He was at his locker, and they basically was asking him what did he feel about the 1-5 start, and how did he feel about Dan Quinn. And he basically was at his locker stating that he was somebody's trash once upon a time, and he was Dan Quinn's treasure because Dan Quinn gave him a chance. He was actually a practice squad player when Mike Smith was here. And Dan Quinn saw the talent inside of Ricardo Allen and changed his position from defensive back to free safety. And ever since then, he's been humming along. He also was given a big contract about a year or two ago, and that was all because of Dan Quinn. So he says they're doing their best to win for Dan Quinn. He said that Dan Quinn is the man, like that's his guy, and he wants to do everything that he can to help this team win and have success. But he also mentioned that it's players on this team that are blowing assignments. So it's time for all of these guys to do your job. Know your assignment, do your assignment, and be a star in your role. Don't try to make a play, jump out of your zone, and try to do something special. Just do the small things good. Do the fundamental things correct. If you do that, I guarantee you we'll be right there at the end, and we will have a chance to win this game. And I do see the Falcons winning this game. If we do everything that I said in my keys to victory, if we come out fast, we score points, we throw the first punch, if we play solid defense, and we do not have silly penalties like holding on third down, pass interference, and things of that nature, we should win this game. If we are tackle well, and if we make adjustments, and this is for Dan Quinn, if he makes adjustments and doesn't run all of that soft zone the whole game, but he mixes it up, he mixes some press man coverage in this game, I'm telling you right now, we will win this game. I feel like a lot of teams right now are taking us lightly, including the Rams, because everybody's coming into our building saying this team is a 1-5 team. They're giving up, and I don't think they're going to be ready for us on Sunday. I think that we're going to be prepared to punch these guys in the mouth. And we want to be the ones to throw the first punch. We need to stop being counter punchers and waiting for a team to hit us. But we need to come right out the gate swinging, because we definitely need this game. Every game from now on is a must-win game for the Atlanta Falcons. We need as many games as we can get, because I want us to win a Super Bowl. and it's not too late for this season. So forget all of those fans that you hear that are saying the season is over, let's go ahead and tank, or the season is over, why watch the game, and all these people that's coming with the negativity. Don't pay them any mind. Let's keep going strong. Let's stay together as the brotherhood always sticks together. All the guys that are out there, I'm gonna be cheering them on. Even Devondre Campbell, Isaiah Oliver, I'm rooting for you guys. I'm hoping that you guys get it together and that you don't continue to make the same mistakes week after week after week. It's time for us to go ahead and mature and start to make some plays, man. Let's go ahead and punch these guys in the mouth on Sunday. Like I said, I will be viewing the game. Most likely, it looks like I'm doing my post-game shows on Monday instead of on Sunday because I'll still be watching the other games and trying to see things that I want to talk about, looking at the other games that are going on. And it's a lot of good games going on because right after our game on Sunday, the game of the week is the Chicago Bears and the Saints. So I definitely want to check that game out as well because the Saints are in our division and the Bears are also an NFC opponent. We won't play the Bears unless we play them like in the playoffs, but I definitely like to watch the other games. And then the late night game is Cowboys Eagles, and I always, watch all of those games. So most likely won't do a video on Sunday after our game, but I definitely will do a video on Monday letting you know what I liked in the game, what I didn't like it about the game, and hopefully it's going to be a victorious Monday where I can come here and talk about a W. We're on a 4-game losing streak. It's time for us to break the curse and cut the crap. Go ahead and start our own winning streak. Let's go ahead and break the chains of this losing streak. It's time for us to do big things. Like I said, I believe in this Falcons team. I haven't given up on Dan Quinn. I feel like these players have great resolve. And like I said, it's not about what you do when you're winning. It's about what you can do in adversity. And that goes for not just for our players, but that goes for the fans as well. Are we going to turn our back on our team when we're losing and cheer for them when we're winning? Or are we going to always be there, ride or die, until the end? We need to bleed that red and black to the end, y'all. I'm a ride or die fan. I'm with the players. I'm standing with these players. I believe in these players. Even the backups that we have in there playing right now, Isaiah Oliver, I believe in you guys, man. Go out there and get the job done. Matt Ryan, I didn't mention him. He's been playing on the MVP level. He's been playing great. If you don't know, he is leading the league in touchdown passes. And he's been doing this thing, man. The only thing is our record is bad. If we had a good record, Matt Ryan would be right up there in the MVP talks. The only reason he's not being mentioned in MVP is because we're losing games. But last week, he was 30 of 36, over 300 plus yards passing, and over 80% completion rating. So all of those people that are hating on Matt Ryan are saying MVP category. Yes, MVP caliber. This guy's a baller, man. Matt Ryan's a baller. Matty Ice, he has that name for a reason. I believe in him. Like I said, I'm ready for this game on Sunday. Y'all see I got my red home jersey on, the Julio Jones. We need to go ahead and go at these guys, man. I don't know if y'all know, but last year in the GQ article, Jalen Ramsey talked a lot of junk about Matt Ryan, saying he's overrated and that he's not a great quarterback. And he was just talking about a lot of different quarterbacks. So he's going to get his chance to run up against us. It's time for Matt Ryan, and it's time for this Falcons team to punch back, man. Show y'all, show the world, show the NFL world what we have. Show this league that we're not throwing in the towels, but we're ready to go ahead and try to right these wrongs, man. We're down 1-5. I plan on being 2-5 after this Sunday and going into Seattle, which is going to also be a winnable game. But first, we got to handle 1 week at a time. That's all we can do. We don't need to pay attention to Seattle. We don't need to worry about none of these NFC South games. We need to worry about the game that we have right in front of us. And I promise you, if we take it one game at a time and we apply the brick by brick by brick, one brick at a time, laying one brick at a time, I'm telling you, next thing you turn around, we're going to be right in playoff contention, man. This is your boy Jew. Like I said, if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, tell your Falcons friends about this page. Like you said, I'm an up-and-coming YouTuber, and I speak that I'm the best at doing it. And, man, I love all of the other guys that are out here doing it, man. Mad Mike Sports, Unintentional Grounding with Lieutenant Dan. Salute to you guys, man. CC Ryder, he's also a Falcons YouTuber. Big ups to you, my man. I watch you guys' videos as well. Jazzy Jeff, man, if I'm missing out on anybody, Y'all just let me know in the comments and I'll definitely shout you out. But like I said, man, we all a part of one brotherhood. We all stick together, man. Pound for pound, they're another Falcons YouTubers, Toby D. Those are my guys as well, man. I love watching their Falcons videos as well. They're two guys that's up and coming as well. They also have their own podcast, which is also great, and I listen to their podcast. So man, it's a lot of Falcons YouTubers out here, man. We all stick together. I love the show. You guys love. I hope y'all do the same on y'all pages. We y'all show me some love, man. But like I said, this is your boy Jew Talk Sports. If you would like to donate to my page, go ahead and, man, just go to the Cash App. It'll be the $ Jew Talk Sports. But I'm gonna keep bringing y'all that real Atlanta Falcons content. And like I said, man, peace and love. Y'all enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the other football games that'll be going on this week, man. Definitely enjoy this Falcons win. I plan on talking about a win on Monday. And like I said, we're going to build it up brick by brick by brick, y'all. All right, man. Y'all enjoy the weekend. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. Your boy Jew is out. Peace.